So let's think about where these animals might live in Hawaii. Do you think that they might live in this kind of valley? Or do you think that they might live in this kind of valley? Hmm, let's take a look. Maybe we have different answers. Maybe all of you live in a valley that looks like this, but our Hawaiian stream animals, they might not live in the same kind of place that humans do. If we were to zoom in on the left side, the side that didn't look like there was a city, we might see a stream that looks like this. There's no sidewalks, there's no parking lots, there's no cars, there's no buildings, and there's a lot of forest here. The water is flowing very fast, and there's a lot of rocks and boulders, and the water is very clear. And if I were to put my hand in the water would be very cool. What if I put a camera underwater? We would see that there's a lot of opu that live here, and the water is very, very clear. There's not a lot of dirt in it. The water is not brown. Now let's zoom in on the side that looks like a city. When we look at this stream, we see a lot of houses, we see a bridge, we see parked cars, we see power lines, and we don't see a lot of trees anymore. There's not a lot of shade. We see a lot of concrete or a lot of cement. Unfortunately, that is not good for our stream. There's not a lot of water in it anymore. The water, if I were to touch it with my hand, it's really warm, especially because of all the concrete. How many of you guys have ever walked around barefoot on cement before? Maybe on a sidewalk. Raise your hand. All right. I think all of you have walked around barefoot, or maybe even have touched cement in the afternoon with your bare hands. How does it feel? Is it cold? No, I think it's very hot, and sometimes we can't even stand walking around barefoot on that cement in the afternoon. So if we think about the water in the stream, all that hot cement can make the water very warm, and that's not good for our Hawaiian stream animals that we just talked about. If I were to put a camera underwater, what I would see is a lot of other types of animals that live there that are not Hawaiian. We have these types of fish that live in the stream that are not from Hawaii. They're from other places. These particular fish that we are seeing, they are from the pet store. How many of you guys have ever been to a pet store before? I've been in a pet store many times, and I actually used to work in one. And we used to sell a lot of freshwater fish that weren't from Hawaii. They were from other places in the world that were shipped here to be put in our aquariums as pets. But when we think about pets, do pets belong in the forest? For instance, you might have a pet cat, you might have a pet dog, you might have a pet bird. All of these pets you probably got from the pet store or maybe the Humane Society. But is it okay if we release them into the forest? Maybe if we can't take care of them anymore, is it okay to just set them free and let our pet birds or let our pet cats wander around on their own without people supervising them? No, it is not okay. We should not release them into Hawaii's forests and streams. And it goes the same with fish. We should not release them in Hawaii's forest and in Hawaii's streams. Okay, guys, as a quick reminder, I wanted to go over some of the animals you just learned. How many different types of opu did you learn about? Do you folks remember? There are five of them, right? What about how many opai are there? There should be two of them, two opai. What about our different types of snails on our stream? There are two of them that live on our stream. So how many Hawaiian stream animals do we have total? There are nine Hawaiian stream animals. I'm going to introduce you guys to a term that you may or may not have heard of before. This word is called native. And these Hawaiian stream animals are all native, meaning they've come to Hawaii on their own, and people didn't bring them here. They didn't put them here like those aquarium fish. Those aquarium fish are what we call invasive. And that's kind of a complex word that you might have not have heard before, but it's kind of similar to another word you probably have heard about called invaders or invade. And when we think about invaders, is being an invader a good thing or a bad thing? Hmm. Well, maybe we don't know yet. Let's talk about that a little bit more. Do you folks all have a special place in your life? Maybe it is your house. Maybe it's your bedroom. Maybe it's your game room. Maybe it's your couch. Maybe it's riding in the car with dad or mom. Or maybe it's playing at the beach. Maybe it's swimming in your pool. I'm sure all of you guys have special places in your life that are sacred, that are very important to you. What if you lost half of that special place and someone took it away from you? What if someone took away half your bedroom from you? What if someone took away half your bed from you? I think a lot of you guys would be really upset if that happened. What if someone came in and took away all of your special place from you? What if you couldn't go to the ocean anymore and that wasn't allowed? What if you couldn't swim in your pool anymore and that wasn't allowed? Well, that's kind of what an invasive animal is. These are all invasive animals that are taking over the habitat of our native stream animals that we've just learned about. And their special places are being taken over by invasive animals that people are putting in the stream. And is that fair for the native animals to lose their homes and other special places? Yeah, it's not fair. Is there something that we can't do about this? Well, the first thing you guys should remember is that you should not ever put your pets inside of the stream, just like how you would never put your pet cat or dog in the forest. That's not where they belong. If you need to take them somewhere because you can't take care of them anymore, take them back to where you bought them from or where you adopted them from, either a pet store or the Humane Society. They should always go back to where they came from. So I'm about to show you a bunch of these stream animals, both on the left side and on the right. So get a good look at them now. And hopefully you can see all of the animals that you see here are all native stream animals. This is what it's like when they are in the forest far from the city. But as we get closer and closer to the city, we see something changing. If you focus on one type of animal, maybe the orange and black animal there, do we see more of them or less of them as we go down towards the city? Yeah, you might see that they are starting to disappear. That goes with the same of any other type of oopu, opai, hihivai, or hapavai. If you were to count any of them, the numbers of them are starting to disappear as we're getting closer to the city. But what you might see starting to appear is that there are invasive stream animals starting to take away the special places and homes of our native stream animals to the point where there are no stream animals left in our streams in the city. So, what can we do about this? I think the first thing we can do is make sure your pets never go into the forest and they never go into our streams here in Hawaii, whether they are cats, whether they're dogs, or birds, or even your pet fish, because this is what happens. So, what you also can do to help is that we can go on field trips together. Maybe not real soon because of COVID 19 and that we are supposed to be social distancing, but what we can do is go on a field trip in the future. And these are some really young students that are kindergarten and first grade, and they came with me into the stream to help remove some of these aquarium fish from the stream. And on their field trip, they caught over 600 of them down here. That was a lot of them. And in total, or with all of the schools that we have worked with, even young students just like you, we removed over 40,000 aquarium animals from our streams, trying to make more space for the native stream animals and also get their special places back to them. So the way we do this is that we chase these animals downstream using big nets and sticks. We can make a lot of noise because these fish don't like the noise. So we chase them downstream. You can see them splashing around there. And these students are catching them in their nets. And there's quite a bit of them, as you can see, that we catch. This program doesn't work without all of your help, all of your hands, all of your hearts, I'm so thankful for you folks listening to me in this time and being a part of Nabai Ekolu. It doesn't matter if you're in kindergarten, first grade, or second grade, every hand counts.